Hey everyone, welcome back to the show.
Hello, hello. So happy to be here today.
Alice, I have a question for you. A very important question.
Ooh, I love questions. What is it, David?
Have you ever heard of a parrot that can't fly?
A parrot that can't fly? That sounds like a contradiction. Like a fish that can't swim? No, I haven't.
Well, today we're going to meet one. It's a truly unique creature from New Zealand.
And I'm guessing we'll learn some new reading skills along the way?
Exactly. Today we'll dive into an interesting passage about the Kākāpō, this amazing flightless parrot. We'll use it to practice finding key information, understanding tricky questions, and boosting your IELTS reading confidence.
A flightless parrot. Okay, I'm already intrigued. Let's go.
First, we'll read the passage together. It's a fascinating story about this bird's journey from being common to critically endangered, and then its fight for survival.
And don't worry if you don't understand every single word or if you're only half listening while you're doing something else. That is completely normal. Just relax and let it play.
Here's our plan for today. In Part 1, we'll read the passage about the Kākāpō. In Part 2, we'll quickly review some essential reading skills that will help you tackle any text. In Part 3, we'll do a quick recap of those skills. And in Part 4, we'll put those skills to the test with some practice questions from the passage.
4 parts, a flightless parrot, and some great skills. This is going to be a good episode.
Let's start. Okay, welcome to Part 1. This is our reading passage. The title is The Kākāpō.
The Kākāpō. It sounds like a fun word to say.
I will read each paragraph slowly. After each paragraph, Alice will explain the main idea in simple English, B1 or B2 level. Then we move on.
Think of it like listening to a story with a friendly guide to help you understand. Ready? Let's read.
The Kākāpō, also known as the owl parrot, is a large forest-dwelling bird with a pale owl-like face. It is the world's only flightless parrot and is also possibly one of the world's longest living birds, with a reported lifespan of up to 100 years. They are entirely vegetarian, with their diet including the leaves, roots, and bark of trees, as well as bulbs and fern fronds.
So, paragraph A introduces us to the Kākāpō. It's a special parrot from New Zealand that looks a bit like an owl. The amazing thing is, it can't fly. It's the only parrot in the world that can't fly. It also lives a very long time, maybe even 100 years. And it only eats plants, like leaves, roots, and bulbs.
2 things to notice. Flightless means it cannot fly. Vegetarian means it only eats plants, no meat.
Say it with me. Flightless. Vegetarian.
Kākāpō breed in summer and autumn, but only in years when food is plentiful. Males play no part in incubation or chick rearing. Females alone incubate eggs and feed the chicks. The 1 to 4 eggs are laid in soil, which is repeatedly turned over before and during incubation. The female Kākāpō has to spend long periods away from the nest searching for food, which leaves the unattended eggs and chicks particularly vulnerable to predators.
Okay, paragraph B tells us about Kākāpō families. They only have babies when there is a lot of food. The father Kākāpō does not help with the eggs or the babies at all. Only the mother does everything. She lays eggs in the soil and she keeps turning them to keep them warm. But the mother has to leave the nest to find food, and this makes the eggs and babies very easy targets for other animals that want to eat them.
Incubation means keeping the eggs warm so they can hatch, and vulnerable means easily hurt or attacked.
Quick question for you. No pressure. Just have a think. Does the male Kākāpō help with the babies? The answer is no. The passage says females alone incubate eggs and feed the chicks. If you got that right, great job.
Before humans arrived, Kākāpō were common throughout New Zealand's forests. However, this all changed with the arrival of the first Polynesian settlers about 700 years ago. For the early settlers, the flightless Kākāpō was easy prey. They ate its meat and used its feathers to make soft cloaks. With them came the Polynesian dog and rat, which also preyed on Kākāpō. The fall in Kākāpō numbers was accelerated by European colonization. Introduced species such as deer depleted the remaining forests of food. Other predators such as cats, stoats, and 2 more species of rat were also introduced. The Kākāpō were in serious trouble.
This paragraph tells a sad story. Before people came, Kākāpō lived all over New Zealand. But when the first people arrived about 700 years ago, everything changed. Because Kākāpō couldn't fly, they were easy to catch. People ate them and used their feathers for clothes. These people also brought dogs and rats, which ate Kākāpō too. Later, more people came from Europe, and they cut down forests, destroying Kākāpō homes. They also brought new animals like deer, which ate the Kākāpō's food, and other dangerous animals like cats and stoats. So the Kākāpō were in big danger.
Prey means an animal that is hunted and eaten by another. Depleted means greatly reduced in number or amount.
You know, it's really sad how often human arrival affects native animals. It makes you think about how careful we need to be with nature.
It certainly does. This paragraph really highlights the challenges the Kākāpō faced.
In 1894, the New Zealand government launched its first attempt to save the Kākāpō. Conservationist Richard Henry led an effort to relocate several hundred of the birds to predator-free Resolution Island in Fiordland. Unfortunately, the island didn't remain predator-free. Stoats arrived within 6 years, eventually destroying the Kākāpō population.
Here, we learn about the first try to save the Kākāpō. In 1894, a man named Richard Henry moved many Kākāpō to an island thinking it was safe from danger. But sadly, other dangerous animals called stoats found their way to the island in just 6 years, and they killed all the Kākāpō there. It was a failed rescue mission.
Relocate means to move something to a new place. Predator-free means a place where there are no animals that hunt and eat other animals.
From 1949 to 1973, the newly formed New Zealand Wildlife Service made over 60 expeditions to find Kākāpō. In 1977, a large population of males was spotted in Rakiura, a large island free from stoats, ferrets, and weasels. There were about 200 individuals, and in 1980 it was confirmed females were also present. These birds have been the foundation of all subsequent work in managing the species.
So, after the first try failed, people kept looking for Kākāpō for many years. Finally, in 1977, they found a big group of male Kākāpō on an island called Rakiura, which had no dangerous stoats. Even better, in 1980, they found female Kākāpō there too. This was a huge step, as these birds became the starting point for all future efforts to save the species.
Expeditions are long journeys for a special purpose, like exploring or finding something. Foundation means the base or starting point of something.
Unfortunately, predation by feral cats on Rakiura Island led to a rapid decline in Kākāpō numbers. As a result, during 1980 to 1997, the surviving population was evacuated to 3 island sanctuaries: Codfish Island, Maud Island, and Little Barrier Island. Rats were found to be a major predator of Kākāpō chicks, and an insufficient number of chicks survived to offset adult mortality. The Kākāpō population had dropped to 51 birds. The critical situation prompted an urgent review of Kākāpō management in New Zealand.
Feral cats are wild cats that used to be pets. Sanctuaries are safe places where animals are protected.
In 1996, a new recovery plan was launched together with a specialist advisory group and a higher amount of funding. This involved moving the birds between islands, supplemental feeding of adults, and rescuing and hand-raising any failing chicks. For the first time, there was cautious optimism for the future of Kākāpō, and by June 2020, a total of 210 birds was recorded. After the population dropped so low, a new, stronger plan was started in 1996. They got more money and expert help. This new plan involved moving birds around, giving extra food to adults, and very carefully looking after any sick or weak baby birds by hand. Hand-raising means taking care of them like human babies, with human help. With all these efforts, the situation started to look better, and by 2020, there were 210 Kākāpō.
Funding means money given for a particular purpose. Optimism means hope and confidence about the future.
Today, Kākāpō management continues to be guided by the Kākāpō Recovery Plan. Its key goals are minimize the loss of genetic diversity in the Kākāpō population, restore or maintain sufficient habitat to accommodate the expected increase in the Kākāpō population, and ensure stakeholders continue to be fully engaged in the preservation of the species. The last paragraph tells us that the plan to save the Kākāpō is still going strong today. The main goals are to keep the birds genetically healthy, make sure they have enough good places to live as their numbers grow, and make sure all the important people involved keep working together to protect them. Stakeholders are all the people or groups who have an interest or concern in the project.
Okay, that is the full passage, 8 paragraphs telling the Kākāpō's story. Let's quickly remember the main points of each section in case your mind wandered anywhere along the way.
Paragraph A. What is a Kākāpō? A flightless, long-living parrot. Paragraph B. How Kākāpō breed and the mother's hard job. Paragraph C. How humans and the animals they brought cause trouble. Paragraph D. The first failed rescue attempt by Richard Henry. Paragraph E. Finding Kākāpō again, especially females, on Rakiora Island. Paragraph F. More problems. Cats and rats, and the population falling to 51. Paragraph G. The new, successful recovery plan and the population growing. Paragraph H. The ongoing goals for the Kākāpō's future. So, that was our reading passage. How did you feel? Did you catch most of the story?
If you didn't catch everything, that is completely normal, especially if you were half listening while doing something else. The goal was never to understand every single word. The goal was just to get the general story and the main challenges the Kākāpō faced.
From a unique parrot to being in serious trouble, then finding hope and a plan for the future. If you followed that journey, you've already done something very useful.
And now we are going to quickly review some skills that help you read any passage like this faster and more confidently. Let's go to part 2.
Welcome to part 2. This is where we quickly review some essential reading skills that will make a big difference in your IELTS exam and beyond.
These are the tricks of the trade, the secrets to understanding long texts without getting lost.
Let's begin with skill 1.
Okay, skill number 1, David?
Skill number 1. Skim the whole passage first before you read carefully.
Skim? You mean read it fast?
Yes, very fast. Don't stop for difficult words. Just get the general idea of each paragraph.
So, for our Kākāpō passage, what's the general idea?
Paragraph A introduces the bird. Paragraphs B and C talk about its breeding and the threats it faced. Paragraphs D to G describe the rescue efforts. And paragraph H outlines the future goals.
Oh, so it's basically intro, challenges, rescue attempts, future. That's the same shape we just reviewed a moment ago.
Exactly. And once you know that shape, finding answers becomes much faster.
Why does that help so much?
Because if a question asks about a rescue attempt, you already know that's probably in paragraphs D, E, F, or G. You don't need to search the whole text.
That makes a lot of sense. I always used to read the whole thing first. No more.
Here is a tip. When you skim, only read the first sentence of each paragraph. That sentence usually tells you what the paragraph is about.
Say this with me. Skim first. Skill number 2. Always read the questions first before you scan for answers.
Wait, isn't that obvious?
You'd think so, but many students start reading the passage in detail before they even know what they're looking for.
So they waste time reading things they don't need.
Exactly. If the question asks about the diet of Kākāpō, you already know which words to look for in the passage.
So the question guides the reading, not the other way around.
Perfectly said. The question is your map. Read the map before you start walking.
The question is your map. Say it with me. The question is your map. Okay, skill 3.
Scan for keywords. Don't read every word. Let your eyes jump to the important ones.
What counts as a keyword?
Names, numbers, dates, and unusual words. For example, in our Kākāpō passage, Richard Henry, 1980, Rakira Island, Polynesian settlers.
So if a question asks about a specific year, I just scan for the numbers.
Exactly. Your eyes move down the page quickly, like a camera, looking for the important things.
Like a camera. My eyes are a camera. I love that.
Numbers and dates are always easy to spot. If a question mentions 1980, your eyes will find it very quickly.
All right, quick pit stop. So far, we've got skim first, questions are your map, and now eyes like a camera for keywords. 3 down, 5 to go.
Skill 4 is a really useful one. Watch for paraphrasing.
What do you mean by paraphrasing?
The question will almost never use the exact same words as the passage. It will use synonyms instead.
Can you give me an example from our Kākāpō passage?
Sure. The passage says rapid decline in Kākāpō numbers. A question might say, a quick fall in the Kākāpō population.
Oh, rapid decline becomes quick fall, and Kākāpō numbers becomes Kākāpō population.
Exactly. Same meaning, different words.
That sounds hard.
It gets easier with practice, honestly. The skill is simply don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning.
Say that again, David. I want to remember it.
Don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning.
Don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning. Say it with me.
Skill 5, find the topic sentence. Usually, the first sentence of a paragraph tells you what the whole paragraph is about.
So in paragraph F, the first sentence says, unfortunately, predation by feral cats on Rakiura Island led to a rapid decline in Kākāpō numbers.
Right, so immediately you know this paragraph is about the problems on Rakiura Island and the decline of Kākāpō.
So I don't need to read the whole paragraph carefully unless the question is about problems on that island.
Exactly right. The topic sentence is like a sign on a door. It tells you what is inside before you open the door.
Let's practice. Listen to this first sentence. What is the paragraph about?
In 1894, the New Zealand government launched its first attempt to save the Kākāpō.
The paragraph is about the first try to save the Kākāpō. That is paragraph D. Did you get it right?
Skill 6 is the one that trips learners up the most, but it's really just a small logic puzzle. True, false, not given questions.
Oh no, I always get confused with not given.
Everyone does it first. Here is the key difference. True means the passage says the same thing as the statement. False means the passage says the opposite. Not given means the passage simply does not mention it at all.
So not given does not mean false. It just means the passage is silent. No information.
Exactly. The passage is silent. Say it with me. The passage is silent. And here's a little trick this question type likes to play. Sometimes the statement says all or every, but the passage only talks about some or only in certain conditions. That's usually a false. The statement went too far.
Ooh, so watch out for words like all, every, always, never. Good tip.
Okay, let me test you. Here is a statement. Male Kākāpō help feed their chicks.
The passage says, in paragraph B, females alone incubate eggs and feed the chicks. So the statement says the opposite. That means it is false.
Correct. Now try this one. Kākāpō eggs are green.
The passage talks about the eggs being laid in soil and turned over, but it never mentions their color. So the answer is not given. The passage is silent about the color of the eggs.
Perfect. You just used skill 6 correctly.
Skill 7?
Manage your time. If one question is taking too long, skip it and come back later.
But isn't it bad to leave a question unanswered?
It's worse to spend 5 minutes on one hard question and lose time for 5 easy ones.
Oh, so one hard question can cost you many easy points?
Exactly. Always guess something, mark it, and move on. You can come back at the end if you have time.
A good rule of thumb, roughly 1.5 minutes per question. If you're still stuck after that, move on and come back later.
And our last skill, skill 8, guess unknown words from context. You will never know every word, and that is completely normal.
Oh, that is so good to hear.
For example, imagine you don't know the word depleted in paragraph C, but the sentence talks about deer eating the remaining forests of food.
So I can guess depleted must mean the deer greatly reduced or used up the food. I don't need the exact definition. I just need enough to understand the sentence.
Exactly. Context is the words around the unknown word. Use those words as clues.
Say this with me. Use context clues.
And that is skill 8, and all 8 skills done.
Wow, 8 skills. That was a lot, but I feel much more confident now.
You should. These are real practical skills that every good IELTS reader uses.
And the important thing is, these skills work together. Skim, read the questions, scan for keywords, paraphrasing, topic sentence, true, false, not given, time management, context clues. They are a team.
All 8 working together. Let's go review them quickly. Welcome to part 3. Quick review, no pressure, just a fun recap. I'm going to quiz you, Alice. What's skill 1?
Skill 1. Is it read every single word very slowly and carefully?
Haha, no, that's the opposite. Skill 1 is skim first for the general idea.
Right. Skim first. I knew that. Okay, my turn to quiz you, David. What's skill 2?
Skill 2, read the questions before you scan.
Okay, my turn again. Skill 3, scan for keywords, not full sentences.
Good. How about skill 4? What should we always watch for?
Watch for paraphrasing. Don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning.
Excellent. And skill 5, what's that important sentence in each paragraph?
Find the topic sentence. It's like a sign on a door.
All right, you're doing well. Now the tricky one, skill 6. How do we handle true, false, not given?
True means the passage says the same thing, false means the passage says the opposite, and not given means the passage is silent.
Perfect. Only 2 left. Skill 7?
Manage your time. Don't get stuck.
And finally, skill 8?
Guess unknown words from context. Use context clues.
8 skills. I think I got them all this time.
Well, almost. You nearly said read every word at the start.
That one doesn't count. I was warming up. Now, if you feel like it, try saying all 8 out loud yourself. No pressure. Even remembering 4 or 5 is great.
However you did, that is genuine progress. 8 skills reviewed, quickly and clearly.
Remember, you don't need to memorize the names. You need to do them. Skills are actions, not words. Now, the most important part, putting the skills into action. Let's go to part 4. Welcome to part 4, practice time. We are going to use our passage about the Kākāpō. Remember its story, from being common to critically endangered, and then the rescue efforts. And I will ask you real exam-style questions.
Try to answer before we give you the answer, if you can. Say it out loud if you like. No pressure, though. Just listening carefully works too.
After each question, we pause. Then we go back to the passage, look at the exact line, and explain the answer. Statement 1. There are other parrots that share the Kākāpō's inability to fly. Is this true, false, or not given?
Let's look back at paragraph A. The passage literally says it is the world's only flightless parrot. The statement says there are other parrots that can't fly, which is the exact opposite of what the passage states. So the answer is false.
Statement 2. Kākāpō were transferred from Rakiura Island to other locations because they were at risk from feral cats. Is this true, false, or not given? Let's go back to paragraph F. The passage clearly states, unfortunately, predation by feral cats on Rakiura Island led to a rapid decline in Kākāpō numbers. As a result, the surviving population was evacuated to 3 island sanctuaries. This directly supports the statement, so the answer is true. Statement 3. The Polynesian rat was a greater threat to the Kākāpō than Polynesian settlers. Is this true, false, or not given?
For this one, let's look at paragraph C. The passage mentions both Polynesian settlers and the Polynesian rat as threats. For the early settlers, the flightless Kākāpō was easy prey. They ate its meat and used its feathers. With them came the Polynesian dog and rat, which also preyed on Kākāpō. It tells us both were threats, but it never compares which one was greater. So there is no information to confirm or deny this comparison. The answer is not given. Okay, let's try a different type of question now. This time, fill in the blank. Complete the sentence using one word from the passage. The Kākāpō's diet consists of fern fronds, various parts of a tree, and what?
Let's find this information in paragraph A. The passage says they are entirely vegetarian, with their diet including the leaves, roots, and bark of trees, as well as bulbs and fern fronds. So the missing word is bulbs. The answer is bulbs.
I got them right just by listening. Well, I got the last one right. That counts.
That is the skill working already. And notice, for each one, we didn't just spot the trap, we went back to the exact line that proves the answer. That's the habit worth building.
It actually feels manageable now. When I know the skills and how to find the answers, the questions are not so scary.
That is exactly the goal. You don't need to understand every word. You need the right strategy and the habit of checking back against the text.
And now,